This program is being run through the Bureau of Economic Development in Cook County government, which works to foster economic development and job growth across Cook County. Specifically talking about the guaranteed income pilot now, we have decided to do a pilot which will provide $500 a month for 24 months, 2 years, to 3,250 Cook County residents. We will be serving both people in the city of Chicago as well as suburban Cook County. And our timeline. Thank you, Dom. Yes, just to let you know, this session is being recorded, and we will be posting the recording at a later date for folks to see. And if you're just joining us and you're not on mute, please mute your phone, and much appreciated. So the internal timeline is that we would like to have the application window for folks who actually want to be in the program. We'd like to have that window start in early fall of 2022, September. And then our target date to get the first payments out is winter 2022, probably December 2022. So the payment administrator is a big part of this. They're going to be responsible for setting up an online application, offering direct assistance and troubleshooting to folks who are trying to apply. They'll be conducting a lottery to select who will be participating. We expect that we'll have very large numbers of folks applying, many more than we can actually serve. The city of Chicago, for instance, just ended their application window. They have 5,000 slots, and they had 180,000 people apply. So we're expecting probably similar numbers for this program. This partner will also do the verification to ensure that the folks who are applying are actually eligible in terms of residency and in terms of their income threshold. And then they'll also be in charge of benefits counseling for the folks that are selected to ensure they understand what benefits may and may not be protected due to their income rising. And distributing the money on a monthly basis, and all of the data and metrics tracking that we are going to need as part of this program. So our overall program goals for this are, first and foremost, we want to help people recover from COVID-19 pandemic. We want to increase financial stability and improve participants' economic mobility. We also know that guaranteed income, at least in other pilots, has had significant impact on participants' mental and physical health. So we're hoping that we can see improvements there as well. We also want to understand how guaranteed income can impact not just the participants, but actually the community around them, and see how these payments can help or impact local businesses and organizations within that immediate community. We're also interested to learn more about how these payments help in terms of the suburban context. Very few, if any, guaranteed income pilots have focused in the suburban context. And we'd love to see the unique outcomes of what this does for folks who are living in suburban Cook County. And then finally, Cook County has made a commitment that we want to create a permanent guaranteed income program after our pilot ends. And so the payment administrator is going to play a very important consulting role in terms of how we set up these systems and infrastructure to best run a guaranteed income program that will be ongoing. Next slide, please. So we've kind of touched on each of these, but to go a little bit more in depth in what we're looking for in a partner, setting up an online, easy to use, user-friendly application that can be completed by a computer, tablet, or especially a smartphone. Having enough staff in a call center of some or online center of some sort to offer troubleshooting assistance to applicants. Having a communications plan to keep applicants informed of the status of their application and whether there's additional information that they need to submit in order to verify their eligibility. On the back end, creating a real-time dashboard so that Cook County and our partners, especially our evaluation partner, can keep track of submissions and then the lottery process and cash going out the door when the payments start. And then capturing all data as needed. We'll be doing a pretty substantial evaluation as part of this pilot. And so data tracking, monitoring, and safely securing of that data is going to be incredibly important. So this is kind of going through the same thing in a bit more detail and in more of a sequential order. So we kind of are thinking about it in terms of the sequences. You've got a pre-application period, which would be over the summer. Setting up and hosting an application portal, staffing up as necessary to meet the significant demand that we are anticipating of folks who are applying for this program. Working with the county and the University of Chicago, who's our evaluation partner, to ensure that the application is collecting everything that we need. And then talking with and coordinating closely with our outreach partner, who we're also simultaneously soliciting right now, and training them, because we will be having in-person application assistance locations throughout Cook County to help folks who are having trouble applying on their own. So there will need to be close coordination and training of our partner organizations on the application. During the application period, obviously running this online portal, being clear with applicants about the status of their application again, and if they need more documentation to ensure that their application is complete, and then being in regular coordination with the county and with our application assistance partners regarding any issues of folks trying to apply and having problems applying. After the application period ends, there will be a lottery run to select the participants, because again, we think we'll have, maybe up to 180,000 people apply for 3,250 spots. So we're going to need to run a lottery to select participants. We'll need to confirm that folks who are selected within the lottery actually are eligible for the program. We want to review demographic information of the applicants and ensure that we're doing due diligence with regards to equity and targeting populations and hitting populations that need the support the most. And then we're going to need to work with our evaluation partner, the University of Chicago, to create a representative control group, because as part of this evaluation, we will be doing a randomized control trial study. So we'll be comparing the folks who get the cash payments with a similar group of folks who applied that did not get it, to see what differences we see over time with folks who got the payments versus who did not. So after the lottery ends, there's gonna need to be onboarding and enrollment of the participants. They'll have hopefully options of different ways that they can receive their payments, any paperwork and other processes necessary to sign up. And then as part of this, we want to make sure we're conducting benefits counseling with each participant so that they understand what the impacts of this guaranteed income payment could be on any public benefits that they have. Some public benefits can be the income payments can be protected from impacting their eligibility, and some cannot. And so we want folks to have a strong understanding of how this benefit would impact anything that they are currently any benefits that they're currently using. Once payments start, obviously doing the monthly payments, creating a back-end portal so that we, along with the payment administrator, can see how payments are going. And then reporting and evaluation, again, a significant part of the work, because we are going to do a strong evaluation of the pilot. So data, reporting, and metrics will be an ongoing part of this work. All right, so I am going to pause right there. I threw out a lot of information, and we'll have a long period at the end as well to answer any questions. But we're going to move in next to more of the actual application process and assessment. So I want to pause. Does anyone have any questions about the role of the payment administration partner? You can either add them to the chat or ask your question. If you're trying to ask a question, you can either raise your hand, unmute your line, put the question in the chat box. No questions. All right, I guess we get an A for our presentation and communication skills today, Jessica.
Love to hear it.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so yeah, I'm sure there will be plenty. All right, so we'll move through the criteria that we are using to evaluate the applications that we'll receive. And so the biggest one is relevant experience, the proposed program design, and technological systems being used. 60 points out of 125. And this is because this is going to be an online process, and because the data and the technology systems that we rely on are so important, both for the success of the program as well as the success of the evaluation. So some of the things that are in here is, what is your experience implementing large scale payment programs, your ability to run a randomized lottery, conduct eligibility verification, and then enroll participants and administer the monthly payments. Strength of any of the existing technology systems that you would have to run these programs, and the lottery, the payment, all of that. And the clarity and thoughtfulness of the program design, making sure that it is as user-friendly, accessible, and equitable as possible. 25 points for your organizational capacity. So as we said, as we saw with the city of Chicago's application, they got 180,000 completed applications for 5,000 spots. And so there is going to be significant need for staff, both from a assistance perspective in terms of if folks have questions, either having a hotline or an online chat assistance that folks can go to if they're having trouble applying, as well as the organizational capacity and skills to run the technological and program design aspect of this. 15 points for performance management. So clear evidence of strong and successful past performance and experience with data-driven performance management. Next slide, please. 15 points for equity and cultural competency. We expect that anyone who is interested in applying to this program already has equity and cultural competency as a strong central mission in their work, but we're also going to highlight it here. We at Cook County are equity driven. It is a central focus of the work we do and how we do it. So demonstrated equity and inclusion commitment, experience working with our priority communities, which are communities, low-income communities, hard-to-reach communities, communities of color, immigrants, English as a second language, and then the accessibility of the systems, the program systems to these diverse groups. We'll also be assessing the permanency and long-term potential. As we mentioned before, we are committing to creating a permanent guaranteed income pilot program after the pilot guaranteed income program after the pilot ends, after the first 2 years. And so we'll be assessing the applications for, does this partner have good systems? Does this partner probably have good ideas in terms of advice for, how to go about structuring this and tweaking it as you go to make it the best system we can, and the best program we can for a permanent status. And then finally, there is a budget justification component. We'll go through that a little bit, but we will be asking you to submit a budget form, rather simplified budget form and narrative, to talk about how you would budget this and spend the money. So it's a total of 125 points. So how to apply? Applications, first of all, are due June 10th, Friday, June 10th at 5 p.m. Central Time. We've tried hopefully to make it pretty simple to apply. You are going to go to cookcountyil.gov/promise. And there on the right-hand side, you'll see a download section, and you'll see there is an overview document for you to read. And then there is the actual payment administrator partner grant application, as well as an Excel document that will be the budget template. And so there's a portal that you'll go to, linked at that website. Put in some very simple contact information, and then most of what you'll submit will be attachments. Any other, Jessica, I want to also give space for you to add in anything that you think it would be helpful to mention.
Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway is that, we have that Word document template. Applicants are welcome to submit, a separate kind of Word document form. You don't have to use that template as long as all of those questions are answered. But like Pete said, there are a slew of just introductory questions, but for the most part, it is going to be attachment-based submission. And the big takeaway, which we'll see on the next slide, is that there's no option currently to save your application progress. So make sure that all of your attachments are ready to go when you go to upload.
Great, thank you.
I think that leads in nicely to the requirements piece.
Yes, all right, so we've got the requirements, which are the completed application that we just mentioned, as well as the budget form and narrative that you would download. We'd also like you to upload the key personnel that you would be using in this and anything about their skills and their background that are relevant to this program. Nonprofits will supply us with their IRS determination letter, list of their board of directors. Certificate of good standing is not required, but ideal to have, as well as recent financial statements or audits. And there will be a place for you to attach each of those documents in the application portal. And this is just a screen grab of the application portal itself. As you'll see, this is just sort of the simple contact information that we'd like you to fill out. And then, as I said, most of the documents that you'll be in the application that you'll be supplying will be through attachments that you'll upload through that portal and then submit. And then this is a screen grab of the budget template. As you'll see, it's a pretty simple budget template in terms of how you would propose to spend the grant money. And then you'll see there's a tab A with the summary form, and then a tab B, which is just to provide your narrative to sort of explain in narrative form what the budget would go to and how it would work. Subcontracting is allowed. We knew this was probably a big question that many people had. So the payment administrator may apply as a single organization or as a lead organization that subcontracts with other organizations to do the work. Subcontracted agencies must demonstrate an ability to implement the program elements that are needed. And then the lead organization must demonstrate the capacity and ability to comply with all the administrative requirements outlined in the scope, as well as the ability, obviously, to sort of manage and oversee that subcontracting relationship. Anything else to mention in this slide, Jessica? Subcontracting slide?
No, I think that's the main point. You know, the county anticipates funding one prime payment administration partner. But, you know, welcome subcontracting, and just make sure that that's detailed in the grant application itself. There's questions about if you're using subcontractors, as well as in the budget form.
Great. Thank you. All right, so the timeline in terms of this process in finding our payment administration partner. So as we said, the applications are available at cookcountyil.gov/promise. You'll see the documents on the right-hand side of that web page under downloads that you'll need to download and complete. The information session was today. We plan to have the slides posted by the end of the day today on that same website. In case you want to download them, share them with colleagues. Any questions that you have after the session can be emailed to guaranteedincome@cookcountyil.gov. And we will answer those questions and post a document with all of the questions and answers by Friday, June 3rd. The questions themselves we would like in at the latest by the end of the day on May 31st. And then all of the documents are due, and your application is due by 5 p.m. Central Time on Friday, June 10th. At that point, we will be assessing and evaluating the applications. There is a potential that we would ask to do a virtual meeting with, a handful of finalists, but we are hoping to make a final selection and have someone on board by July 1st. So we're moving fast, but we do have a target date of opening the participant application window by September, and so we need to get the work going as soon as possible. And
awesome. Well, I see we have two questions. Yeah, I see we have two questions that came through the chat. So why don't I just pose them for you, Pete? So one, to confirm that subcontractors can be used for the benefits counseling portion.
Yep.
Perfect. And then a question about the application needing to be uploaded. Is there a link? The application was the file. So Melinda, yeah, I can answer that. So you'll be able to download kind of the overview file, which includes the full scope of services, as well as all the questions in the application. There is a separate Word document file that you can download and fill out and answer those questions. But correct, you will want to upload that completed application along with all required attachments. So that's what this file upload piece will look like. You'll scroll down on that application form, answer those initial organization and contact questions, and that's where you'll upload either in Word or PDF format your completed application as well as the rest of the attachments, if that makes sense. A few other notes. Let's look in the chat here. A few other notes about subcontracting. Looks like more of a statement. We have a question that says, are there any low-income populations that are excluded from being able to participate?
At this time, no. The only thing is if a family or a household is already receiving a guaranteed, if they're participating, for instance, in the city of Chicago's, they will not be eligible for this. So only one guaranteed income per household for us. In terms of others, we need to have some discussions with agencies, federal and state agencies. There may be a rationale or an argument for folks, for instance, on Social Security, SSI or SSDI, not participating because of significant concerns that this could impact their benefits, and so there's a possibility that there might be some low-income populations that we choose to exclude because we know we can't protect significant benefits that they're on. But those are conversations we need to still have and determinations that will be made over the summer. In terms of for-profits, we have been having discussions internally about that, and
yeah, I can jump in too.
Go ahead.
That's helpful. So the kind of short answer version is that I think, well, the county, similar to the city, anticipated a nonprofit partner. We aren't precluding for-profit partners from submitting applications because this program is funded under ARPA. It must adhere to uniform guidance, which typically calls out nonprofit partners. So we are currently working today and tomorrow with a federal contracting and audit expert team to get a little more clarification on what that would look like. Again, we aren't precluding for-profits from applying. It is likely that there would be a set of additional requirements for that kind of partnership. So I have folks' email contact information here and we'll be happy to follow up offline. We should have more information on that today and first thing tomorrow, and can definitely share some more details for interested for-profits. So from Sarah, has the county begun securing benefits waivers? Is there any progress that can be shared or anything that might help determine the level of effort expected for the benefits counseling piece?
Yeah, we have not started that work yet. That's something that we need we need to start on. I know that the city of we are in connection with the city of Chicago folks who are running their pilot program, and so we're meeting with them on a regular basis, and I know that they have done a lot of that legwork, thankfully. So that's stuff that is happening sort of as we speak. We have not actually secured any yet, but we do believe we can secure what we need to over the next couple of months.
Perfect. And for folks that have thrown in the chat interest in subcontracting, we'll make sure that those statements are included in the Q&A document that's published on the website. Perfect. Oh, I see a hand. Feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey everyone, thanks. This is Sarah Moran at Give Directly. I was going to try and type this one into the chat, but I think it's easier just to ask. So we were really curious when we were reading the RFP to learn a little bit more around the county's goals for expenditure tracking and what you guys are considering in terms of the sort of type of expenditure tracking you're hoping to see. Is that data that would come from payment providers? Is that self-reported? Is it a combination? Just anything that you guys could share in terms of what you're expecting on that.
You mean expenditure reporting from participant spending?
Yes, and maybe I should say that when we read the RFP, that's how we interpreted expenditure tracking, as in participants. So just wanted to confirm that that's the right understanding and what you're thinking is there.
Yeah, I think that we're interested in getting as much expenditure data as we can from participants, specifically because we're interested in seeing, what the spending is in local communities when folks are given this benefit. And what it means for the small businesses where that person works, and what are they able to spend it on tutoring and for their kids and extracurricular activities, sort of a lot of the things that we know are happening but haven't really been fully captured by self-report. However, I don't think it's I think it's a nice to have, but we also are interested to hear the opinion of the payment administrator on what they think is the best way and amount of expenditure data to collect. So I think that we're interested to hear also the expert opinion of the payment and folks who are applying to be the payment administrator about what should and should not be collected. Does that answer your question?
Sure does. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks so much for all of this. One question that comes to mind for me is, I know when I was reading that it's really important to make sure that we select unique applicants that aren't also involved in the City of Chicago pilot. Now, I know internally, like, we have the technology to be able, excuse me, I have my human here with me today, but we have the technology to be able to check against other applicants across funds internally. But will the expectation be that if you all pick a program administrator that's different than the one that's working with the City of Chicago, is the expectation that those partners will work together to ensure that they have a unique list of individuals that are being selected for the Cook County Fund? And I hope that question makes sense.
Yeah. So if we were to have a different administrator than the city, the administrator would need to work with the city's administrator to confirm that folks who are selected are not already part of the city's guaranteed income pilot. problem. Any other questions? Great. All right. Well, we get 20 minutes of our day back. I will just end by saying that, again, the websites that house all of the partner application information, cookcountyil.gov/promise. The public-facing website for the pilot is www.engagecookcounty.com/promise. And there you can kind of read just a general overview of the pilot, and you can also sign up for email updates. These are just general email updates that we'll be sending to at least 20,000 people at this point who are interested in applying for or hearing about the Promise Guaranteed Income pilot. And then send any of your questions, again, to guaranteedincome@cookcountyil.gov, and send any questions you have by May 31st. And we will post those questions on the cookcountyil.gov/promise website by Friday, June 3rd at the latest. And thank you for your interest, and we look forward to your applications. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.